Arguably, one of the biggest stories in the NFL right now is regarding Brandon Aiyuk and his ongoing contract negotiations with the San Francisco 49ers. And as we've seen, it's been played out in social media, and there's been a ton of rumors attached to it. All of that stuff exists. But BA went on the Nightcap show, which had Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp, and they talked about a lot of these things and gives phenomenal insight into kind of what's been going on, his perspective and perception of all these different types of things. And so this clip that we're going to show you right here is I think fantastic, because we live in an era right now where we get to hear from these players amidst these situations where before we may never even heard of anything even after the fact. So we just heard the situation with Eric Armstead. Now we got BA going on with the Nightcap show and kind of letting us in on what's going on. And I think you'll be happy with what you hear. So we're going to do it reaction style. Let's take a look. Let's get into it right now. I'll pause it and stop it based on certain reactions and things like that. But let's get into BA joining the Nightcap, talking about his contract negotiation situation, amongst other things.
Listen, you one of the best in the league. I'm talking about top 5. Listen, your resume, it speaks for itself. You're going into your 5th season. Last year, you had 75 catches, 1,300 some yards, 7 TDs, and you was ranked 2nd in NFL in YPC, right? So that speaks for itself. So there should be no discussion when it comes to taking care of you, when it comes to your value.
Ray Charles. I'm sick. Look, I'm sick about that second one, because look, the whole entire that which is YPC.
Yes, sir.
I was sick. I finished second. Look, who was first?
Who first?
Pickens. Pickens was first. Pickens. So I'm leading it the whole entire year. I'm leading the whole entire year. YPC. Right. Last game of the season, I think Pickens didn't have no catches in the last game of the season. Game of the season, what's his name? Purdy ain't play. They sent me out there.
Right.
And I lost it in the last week. So I'm mad about that one. I should be saying one, but it's all
Yeah, but
quickly on the yards per catch situation and Pickens getting the nod over him at the end. I think one of the takeaways from that is BA wants this. He wants to be the best wide receiver. He wants to be that guy, and he's going to continue to put in the work to do that. And him, getting knocked from that situation and how he just explained it pissed him off. That's what you love about BA, man. He's for real. He is about this life. He's not messing around. He's not doing it for the clout, for the accolades, and for that kind of, like, he wants to be the best. And that's what I really admire about BA.
It's listen, there's certain things that we can see from the outside looking in. I can see. So when it comes to, and I hate most of the time, players don't really like to talk about their contract negotiations or anything having to do with money, but I will do it for you. You don't have to say anything, but
appreciate that.
You are so fucking valuable to that offense. You are what I call a true number one who can play on the outside. He can play on the inside. You can beat any goddamn covers there is that's out there. You're one of the few players in the NFL that plays receiver where you don't need your offensive coordinator's help to get open. When the coach tell you, I need you to get open here on 3rd and 2 or whatever it is, no matter what they got lined up in front of you, you one of the few that can go out there and get open on the muscle. So I don't understand what the issue is over there with the GM and your owners, but just understand you deserve to get paid. And I ain't just talking about any money. I'm talking about 30, 32 a year. And I need 3%.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I
appreciate it. I ain't have to say it, because what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
First of all, the fact that Chad Ochocinco says he needs 3% is absolutely hilarious, because he's acting like his agent right now. But in all fairness, to kind of the delicate nature of this situation, is Brandon can't really come out and say a lot about, I would say, the intricacies of it. I think that's just best business between this type of situation. Is contract negotiations, that stuff's meant to kind of be held behind closed doors. So respect to Ocho Cinco for kind of just, not pushing him to really say anything that he doesn't need to say about the situation, and just kind of, putting it into a frame for him. And 30 to 32, yeah, that's a lot of money. But the point remains is that Brandon Aiyuk is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And yes, with more time, more production, more cachet, that might be something that people are more willing to accept. But the bottom line is you can make the case he's a top 5, absolutely a top 10, but it's all subjective to the basically the eye of the beholder, because it's like, how much do you put emphasis into blocking? Because he's probably the best blocker in the NFL. So when it comes to the wide receiver position. So I love it. I think, BA, I don't know if 30 to 32 is what it's going to be when it's all said and done. I believe Tyreek Hill's making around 30 million per year on average. But hey, if you can get it close to there, man, I think BA is worth every single penny, man. You got to pay this dude. He's wide receiver 1.
So Brandon, when obviously your representative have been talking to John Lynch, who's the general manager, and there've been the swirlings about he's going to get traded, blah blah blah. But John Lynch came out earlier this week and said, "I promise you, nothing is going on there." And then you had the IG story with the emojis, the money, the talking, the BS, and the walking. So what's been relayed to you, as much as you can divulge, what's been relayed to you through your representative? There's a photo of Mike Tomlin. You are split. I think you retweeted it of Mike Tomlin, and you was like, "Hey, you tweeted a picture of you and Mike. Said, hey, they say we're twins. What do you think?" How surprised are you that photo has garnered the attention that it has? Y'all do kind of look like twins, Brandon, or y'all or cousins or something.
Dog Bo my dog Bo from South Carolina. You look like him, but nah. I mean that picture. It was funny. I had seen it like right after the Super Bowl. They trying to kick you while you already down. So I'm like, all right, it's cool. Y'all get it. Y'all can get at me. Y'all get at me. It's all good. I'll take it. Because and I've been talking shit for they got it. So then they got me again. But it was cool. I just brought it back full circle because I felt like I was waking up like this like every day while you under negotiating or whatever you want to call contract talks. Every day is like a different day. So it's just like that. So I had woke up. So I was like, you know what? Like I keep bringing up my birthday. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm just going to leave my exit alone. I ain't going to do nothing. I'm just going to wait till after my birthday. And then I'm trying to put a little bit more pressure on them. So I get there. I wake up right after I wake up and they talking about another team again. They talking about another team that they got me supposed to been in trade talks or whatever. So I said, hey, let me just go ahead and if we want to make, if everybody's saying this and that, let me go ahead and let me just put out one of my little spots that I and I'll revert back to Tomlin. We can have a little bit of fun with it. It's all in fun. It's all in fun. Like I said, we're professionals, but it is what it is, man. But that's where the Tomlin stuff came from.
Listening from the outside.
First of all, that's hilarious. I love that BA was like, man, y'all want to keep talking about me? I mean, we had all the Jaguar rumor stuff. Remember the beat reporter with the Jags like coming out leaking like, no, the Jags are interested in him. And she even went as far as floating like a potential like compensation that the 49ers maybe were looking for in a trade, like specifics, first round. And she dropped the name Zay Jones. You're like, oh, geez. Is this real? Is this smoke? What is it? So BA is sitting there on the sidelines, just like watching all this stuff play out, watching people like me talk about it. And he's just like, this is ridiculous. And then the Mike Tomlin stuff comes out and he's like, let's have some fun with this. Let's pour some gasoline on the fire a little bit, get it stoked up. He talked about putting a little bit of pressure on the 49ers and stuff like that. And that's to be expected. It's a contract negotiation. I think both sides are putting pressure on each other to get to a number that each side wants. And that's, I think a hard part of this for fans is to understand that concept is that, you have to take advantage of the leverage that you have. And BA is doing it through the way he's doing it. The 49ers are going to be doing it the way they do it through their back channels and how they're managing these negotiations and things like that. So I do think it's funny though that he was trying to like, you know, I'm gonna stay out of this, but he's like, all right, enough is enough. I'm gonna lean into this one a little bit, troll you guys back. So I love it. They're going to talk a little bit more in depth about the contract negotiation stuff. And I think this next part is really cool because you have two veterans who have been through contract negotiations. They understand what goes on in these situations. And so they can provide insight and they can talk about it at a little bit different level than I would say anyone else, because they've lived that life. They understand what it takes and how difficult and challenging it is. Like, and you're going to hear from Shannon Sharp about like some of the struggles that he went through trying to get contract negotiations done. So again, I think it all just puts it in perspective for people on the outside to understand a little bit better what Brandon Aiyuk is going through.
It sounds like you're kind of disappointed that the contract negotiations haven't gone as smoothly as you anticipated, considering you've been a model citizen inside the building, you've been a model citizen out on the field, you've been a model citizen outside the facility.
Well, look, let me ask y'all, do y'all know like the timing and everything that goes on with negotiation talks? Like,
I know one thing. For the skill position, if you're not a quarterback, we got to fight tooth and nail. So this is what we all have to go through.
Yeah,
we all have to go through this, and it would always be like this, no matter what. But you are handling it the right way, because the market is the market. Your resume is your resume. Your value is your value. Ray Charles can see what you can do. Other teams can also see what you can do, so they can play games if they want to. If they don't want to give you what you deserve, and I know what you deserve, other teams will give you what you deserve, and they're gonna overpay for it if they let you walk out that door. So either way it go, either way you cut it, it's a win-win for you no matter what, based on your resume. So for you, you should be smiling every goddamn day, no matter what, because you're gonna be good.
For sure.
Chad just honestly put it into phenomenal context. The market is the market. Your value is your value. Your resume is your resume. And you know, you have to fight tooth and nail to get every penny in this business, and you have to go about that whatever way you see fit. And so for anyone who has any issues with Brandon Aiyuk and how he's some of the social media stuff or whatever, it's just like you have to understand this is par for the course, man. He's applying pressure where he can, and that's because the 49ers are probably doing that internally as well. And again, just like Ocho said, if the 49ers don't value him like he deserves to be valued, then some other team will. And that's where we're currently at. Now, the hope is that never even comes across, him potentially playing on the other team, because I know all of us within the 49er fan base want Brandon Aiyuk here. I know that for a fact. And so we want him to be a part of this run. We know we need him to be a part of this run. It's not just a want thing. It's a need. We need BA. And Ocho Cinco does a phenomenal job of just kind of conceptualizing where we are currently at with these conversations. He knows his value. He knows his worth. And he deserves that. Playing next year at $14 million is a joke. And he should not step on the field playing on that fifth-year option. He deserves a contract extension. He's earned it. It's his value. The market, his resume, all speaks for itself. Chad Ochocinco, phenomenal job with the way he was spitting right there.
Yeah. I get your frustration, Brandon, because had you not performed like you have, they would have done traded you or released you. So now I've overperformed. Now compensate me for the work that I've done. I've had a couple of these, Brandon.
If you didn't perform, they would cut you or trade you. Now you've overperformed, go get the bag. That's why I love listening to guys who've been in this situation before. They can provide real context into like the both sides of this thing. So these guys are spitting right now.
Early in my career, I held out, ended up having to hold out for 2 weeks. My fourth contract, I signed it the day of training camp. the day of training camp. And then they didn't re-sign me. I go to Baltimore, win a championship, go to the Pro Bowl. They release me. I go back to Denver. So I'll tell you like this: the best thing you can do is to keep your emotions in check. Mm-hmm. Don't get too high. Don't get too low, because I know you're staying in constant contact with your representative. He's doing as good a job as he possibly can to keep you in the right frame of mind. Contract talks are going well. They have he probably haven't told you, but I think there's a number that the 49ers have in mind. You kind of want to go over that number, and I believe you've earned the right to go over that number based on what you've done,
and based on how you play. What you're gonna do. What you're gonna do.
Yes, and that's the frustrating part. I look, I've been a player, and I understand the business aspect from a team, but I believe you should reward your players for what they've done and what you believe they can do. Mm-hmm. Now, if they don't think it's like, well, you know what? This was an isolated incident.
They know what's going on. Hey, they know what's going on. Come on now.
Exactly.
They know what's going on. I know what's going on. It's like I said, it's not easy. It's business. It's business, and it's multiple people involved in business, and we all trying to get to one thing. But like I said, they're gonna do it with me or without me. You're gonna have a better chance with me. We just leave it at that.
Yeah.
We just leave it at that.
Control what you can control, which is your frame of mind and the work that you put in to be ready to go wherever that may be.
They know I'm going to be ready. You know I'm going to be ready. You know I'm going to be ready.
That's what I love to hear.
They know I'm going to be ready. Come on now. We're trying to get work done. They're trying to get work done. I mean, they trying to get work done. That's all I can say. Y'all know how it gets. I don't even want to get too far into that. But you know, I'm just trying to get like what Ocho just said. I'm trying to get what I deserve. I felt like this season playing football, I figured out who I was as a person, as a player, what I bring to the table, what I bring to the locker room, what I bring to organization, and just the value I hold when I walk in that building, because people gonna follow me because I've done it the right way since I've been in that building from the first day I walked in there to when I was in there earlier this morning. Done it the right way. So, and if they don't see it worth in that, that's all it is. That's all it is. It ain't nothing else. It ain't nothing else besides that. But I can't.
I want to pause it right there. Two things. He was in the building. Fantastic. Love to hear it. Love to hear that BA still popping in, doing workouts or whatever he may be doing, but he's in the building, which is a phenomenal sign. And also on top of that, what he just said is 100% true. You either recognize my value or I'm out of here. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And I think that's what people have had a hard time kind of trying to like quantify and contextualize this whole situation as it's been playing out. But that's what it is, man. And that's business. That's the business of football, right? It's like you either recognize, look what just happened with Eric Armstead. The 49ers said, this is what we value you at. He said, no, that's not where my value is at. He asked for his release and he got paid elsewhere. So you can take the same thought processes and apply it to this situation. Obviously, it's a different situation because they're not asking BA for a pay cut. They're trying to give him an extension, but they need to give him an extension at the value that he's worth. And we understand that in these contract negotiations, the starting point is going to be very low and borderline disrespecting to some of these players. But that's what you got to fight to get your value. I think that's the one. If there's anything that we've learned from any of these negotiations, is you have to fight to get what you want. And hey, it is what it is. That's the way the 49ers go about their business. But again, to his point, you either recognize my value or I can walk out of here and we can go to another team that values me for the production that I've put up and what I'm going to put up. Like, so I get it, man. I get it 100%.
Like I said, I can't get into it. We got professionals working on both sides, so hopefully we can come to a professional agreement and continue to play professional football.
I like it.
again, man, it sounds like they're working on it. Sounds like it's a conversation that's happening. And the whole thing, there's more. I'm gonna clip some more stuff from this and we'll get it up on YouTube. But to be honest, like I'm glad that BA went on the Nightcap show and was able to have this conversation, because I think one of the hardest parts, and I could speak from my perspective, it's like when you are hearing all this noise and the smoke and you're just like trying to figure out like what's real, what's not real, what's happening, what's not happening, it can get a little bit confusing. So when you can go direct to source and you can hear straight from these players' mouths, it just creates, I think, a little bit more um like calmness in the situation of just like, all right, I appreciate the transparency as much as you can give. Obviously, these things are very delicate, like we've discussed. They're not going to be like openly just lay it all out on the table, but we understand what it is. It's a very simple concept. BA is one of the best players in the NFL right now. And on top of being one of the best players in the NFL, he's up for a contract extension because he is over the value of the 5th-year extension. The 5th-year extension of $14.1 million does not match his value. That would have him being severely underpaid. Like we've talked about, Jerry Jeudy makes more money than BA right now, if that's what he were to play on next year. And that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. So with BA in this situation, he's got to go for, like, this could be the biggest contract he'll ever sign because of the production that he's put up, the where he's at in age, and he has to go and be compensated for what he deserves. And I think that's the genesis of this conversation, is that he's worth what he's most likely asking for. And now we just got to see how it all plays out. Some of the positives and the takeaways, again, it sounds like the 49ers and his representatives are talking. So that's a good sign. Sounds like he's in the building and he's going to keep working. I think that's one of the things that we know about BA. BA genuinely loves football. And I truly believe he wants to be the best. And I don't think it's for show. Like, I don't think he's like, oh, I want to be the best so I could tell everyone I'm the best. No, you just that's like, he's an athlete. He's a competitor. He wants to be the best. And I respect that about BA. You can see it in his game. We'll do some other clips of some other things that he said in this show. But, man, pay BA, man. Pay BA. Let's put all this nonsense behind us. Let's put the rumors behind us. And let's get this guy paid, man. Let's get him paid what he deserves. Again, I've been angling for, he deserves to be in the range between 30 and 25. I would, whether that's 28, 29, 30, 26, that's above my pay grade. But for me, I would say that 25 to 30 is the range that he would find himself in on a per year average basis. And listen, he's worth that. He's worth every penny. He's insanely valuable to this offense, to Brock Purdy, to Kyle Shanahan, all of it. Insanely valuable. So pay that man. Get him his money. Let's put this to bed. Now, again, my assumption is that this won't get figured out for a while. So we still have some time. But I think, again, it helps with kind of the rumors and the stuff that have been going out. I think BA wants to be here. I think BA wants to be a Niner. He just wants to be valued and he wants to be compensated. And if you're not going to do that, then fine, he'll leave. He has no problems like packing up and going somewhere else to a team that will value him and will give him what he deserves. And I think fans need to understand that. I do think BA wants to be here. I do think BA wants to be a Niner. And I do think he wants to play with Brock Purdy. But he also, above all, wants his value. And that's exactly what every NFL player is after. being valued. And the same conversations are going to happen with Brock Purdy when it's his turn to get paid. So I love it. I'm glad he did it. I think he was able to kind of calm the situation just a little bit, because again, the situation of the unknown creates the speculation. It creates the spinning. It creates the like, well, is this worse than we thought it was? Was it, so I think from, at least I can speak from my perspective, I think that this helps just kind of relax things a little bit. And hey, we're going to sit back, be patient, and wait and see what ultimately happens. But let me know what you guys think about this whole episode or this clip. Like I said, I'm going to post a couple more clips as well. But let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.